All right, we are live. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right, so that is tweeted out there. Sorry for the minute delay there. Let me get this pulled up here real quick. Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right, let's get zoomed in here a little bit on a couple of these charts here while everybody kind of gets tuned in here. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. It is the first day of October, completed October 1st, 2019. It is the first day of the quarter, first day of the month. Not the first day of the week, though. Um, and so, yeah, so today we're going to continue our discussion on, I'm just kind of in the background here, just making sure the charts look okay. Okay, let me just set that to today's date. Yep. 1 second. 1 second. Good. So yeah, so welcome everybody. So again, today everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only, not investment advice. Okay, so take a moment to review this disclaimer, and if you're watching this recording too, you could pause it, read through it at your leisure. But yeah, everything we're talking about is educational purposes only, not investment advice. Okay, so let's take a look at the market. What happened today? Let's kind of see what's going on here. Let me make sure that everything is coming through. Okay, 1 second. Good, 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 good. All right. What's going on, everybody? All right, let me get this. Let's get started here. Just kind of going over everything. So, monthly chart, right? So, first day of the month, right? So the month has already had quite some volume here, right? Or quite some action here, right? So, a pretty big range on today. 53-point range today. This month so far. Just after one day, down 36 points, right? So a little bit of a rough day in the market, right? The weekly is actually showing a momentum shooting star, right? We talked about the shooting stars yesterday, right? This is very, very bearish, right? If it closes like this, right, at the end of the week, we would expect follow through, right? So that's kind of the end. But we'll see what it ends up with. Maybe it'll end up with a spinning top, which is going to be the topic of tonight, right? So daily chart, really rough, guys. This is interesting, right? We had this, originally the trend line was here, okay? Right, originally the trend line, right, here's your high, this is your level right here. We had this level right, this day right here was your first minor pivot, right? It looked a lot like back here before the big down move, right? But then the only difference is, instead of this one, right, this was Fed day back here, right? Fed day had that big push down, then came back up and formed a hammer and got the continuation forward. And what does this do? This didn't put in an all-time high, but it put in a fresh high here. So what do we have to do? We have to switch our trend line, right? So we activate that, we push that over here. Okay, so then it gives you a new trend, right? So now the trend was continuing, right? Then it gave another minor pivot. Then it gave this, right, which closed bullishly over that minor pivot. So that kind of didn't count, right? You can see I have this breakdown level here, this key level, right? And then we had this bearish close right here. Now I want to be careful with these, right? These big ranges, right, can be very, very difficult to enter, right? Especially, right, when they're out of, kind of out of left field a little bit, right? So it was a big day, right? What was it, like quad, like right there, okay? And then we chopped around for a little bit. So normally I would look to go short here, but it was such a big range I wanted to kind of avoid. Today did the very, very same thing right here. Closed below all these minor pivots, very, very bearishly. So at this point, it's like, what do we do? It's like, well, we could swing short, right? But we got resistance, right? We got support right here. We got the cloud right here. So it's really, really tough to do that. And I'm not saying it can't go through the cloud, but to me, right, if let's say you put your stop up here, right, and your reward is right here, your risk is so much bigger than your reward. It's not worth the trade, unfortunately. Right? I love this candle today. I love how bearish it was, but it's just, we just gotta kind of wait. Now we did scalp that. We made some money short in this today, of course, but swinging it is gonna be it's interesting, right? So futures are up too, so they love to do that stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see like an inside day tomorrow, right? Even something like this, I mean, could be interesting, right? This huge topping tail like that. So there's some possibilities here. Very, very interesting start of the quarter, right? Normally at the beginning of the quarter, right, money starts flowing in, right? The funds, right, the investment funds, retirement funds, pension funds, all that stuff, all the money start flowing in. New month, new quarter. Well, didn't look very good today in terms of flow, so maybe they're going to wait a little bit, right? So we'll see when that dip will be viable and viable, right? So very, very interesting price action today. Here's the daily chart, right? We came right back down to the support zone, and guess what? We filled this gap right here. That's kind of crucial, guys. That's really important, right? So to fill this gap, let me go to the price here. Let me expand this out a little bit. Give me 1 second. Price axis, time axis. Let's go out 100. So 50 or 100 just so we can maneuver. Okay, cool. There it is. All right, so now we can zoom in a little bit. Here. There we go. Okay, so we had this open gap right here. We came down, we filled it, right? So that was key. It was really key, right? So now there is, I believe, a closing gap that still needs to be filled, but the open gap got filled today. So either way, very, very important stuff. Came down to the support zone, filled a gap, and we talked about this in the newsletter too, right? We talked about this as a possibility, right? And met one of our Elliott Wave things that we're working on, Elliott Wave counts that we're working on. Um, to fill the gap and potentially get bullish after this. So in other words, this big down move might actually be bullish, right? So there's a possibility that it could start to work its way up to the top of the channel. So if it did that, then we got all-time highs. Then we see how it behaves up there. Last time it got pretty close up here, and then it kind of reversed back down. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Let's take a look at the price action today. Very, very interesting stuff. Excuse me, let me get some water. Very, very interesting stuff. So today is classic, right? So remember, every time we gap, right, we always have to think when we gap up or we gap down, we always have to think of a possibility of a fade, right? Like a gap fade. Very, very possible. Right? So we have to consider that. So today, this happened, right? So we gapped up today, right? Tried to push, right? Top and tail, top and tail, top and tail. Oh, oh, inside bar, flush right off of that. Okay, PMI numbers came out right here. So, I mean, our manufacturing number is going to flush the market completely? No, but it just shows kind of like this, the overall health of the market, right? When little news like that really just starts to kind of flush things, right? The other day, what do we have? Like the news that maybe Baidu or the Chinese names will be delisted. I mean, just flushes the market like this. It's a very, very dangerous market. Very, very tough, right? So that's why it's important to understand price action, and that's why today we're going to continue our discussion on these candles, right, and how important they are. Just kind of observe and kind of see what they are. So there's the price action today. You can see that these are the levels that subscribers get before any market open, right? So you can see how much today came out to this level, right? Test here, test between these levels, down, a little choppy between all these. Then look, nice level right there, down, chop, 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 down to these levels, chop, 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 back up, right? So very, very interesting. Okay, let's take a look. See what we got going on. Okay, again, everything education purposes only, not investment advice. So today we're going to talk about, we've talked about the hammer, we've talked about the shooting star. Okay, today we're going to talk about the spinning top. Okay, spinning top is really simple. Okay, it's basically just the most common bar. If it's not a hammer, it's not a shooting star. It's probably some sort of spinning top, right? We'll talk about dojis probably tomorrow. So, but it's kind of like a special case of the spinning top. The problem with the spinning top is it really doesn't give you a clear direction, right? It's like, okay, I don't want to go up, I don't want to go down. Let's kind of sit around in the middle. So whenever you see an inside spinning top, it is actually very interesting because when the inside bar breaks, right, that kind of gives you a little bit more of a clue. And it's all about levels, right? We talk about that. Price likes to discover levels. So anyway, the spinning top here is basically saying a red spinning top, black spinning top, same thing. All this is from Bukowski's site, the pattern site. But basically, all it's saying is like reversals 51%. It's a 50-50 move either way, statistically, right? Which way it's going to go, right? So pretty amazing stuff, right? It's about 50-50. And guess what? The green spinning top or the white spinning top, they say here, 50%. 50% reversal direction. So some look at it as reversal, so 50%. Okay, so that's it. That's spinning top. But what does it mean, right, in context? It basically means that there's a pause going on, right, and it's time to kind of look and think, right? So when it's continuing, right, it all depends on levels too, right? So here, look at that. We had a spinning top right here. It's a little bit kind of like a southern doji, a little bit, but it's still a spinning top right here. But it was inside, right? Inside bar, right? So we talk a lot about how important those inside bars are. So it came up here. We get spinning top indecision. So it's indecision within indecision, right? So once it breaks, right? We could have more potential for a move, right? And that is exactly what happened right there. I mean, pretty amazing stuff, right? Then we had what? We had an inside shooting star right here. Got a little momentum to the downside, right? Hanging man, hammer, which failed. Then hanging man down. Then a momentum shooting star, which were to the downside, right? Came back in. I'm trying to find more examples here of a shooting of a spinning top. Here's kind of an example here where we're going between levels. We try to break out this level, and they've got a red spinning top right here at the S2. So, in terms of the reversal, right, it depends where you are, right? So that's the one thing Bukowski didn't do in his testing. He just went back and found them and saw the trend and all this stuff. But what he never talked about was how important these levels are, right? So these are the levels that we use. So we're at a support level right here, right, which then became resistance, right? So it acted very much like a reversal candle. Have a much higher probability of that happening at a key level. See here, this is not a reversal spinning top. It's continuation. But look what we were doing. We were moving from level to level. So we have a better chance of this just being a pause bar and kind of going down, right? Once we got down here, right, closer to level, like spinning top, green, right, reversed itself up. So it's very, very important to see these at different levels and what happens. Okay, and then to kind of look at those in context. This is on the 5-minute chart, but we see these everywhere, right? So we see them on the 15-minute chart, right? We see them on the daily chart, right? So let's just take a real quick look here on the daily and just kind of see what happens, right? So, right, so exactly what we see here, right? So very, very similar stuff, right? So we had a spinning top right here, inside bar, right? Obviously a gap down after that, but then the ultimate continuation was down, right? So I mean, it very, very, tough to trade, but it's starting to move. It's starting to move, right? At least it was. Okay, a little bit of a hammer here, but it's still, spinning topish, hammerish, right? Okay, so definitely good to pay attention to these. Okay, when we see those, especially if we see an inside bar, right? And especially if we see it at a key level or at an inflection point, somewhere that is important, right? Especially when it gets close to all-time highs like this. Okay, so we can start to see those. And these just give you more confidence here. Upper shadow, upper shadow. And that kind of leads to the conclusion. Really, ultimately, the theme of the week is what are the candles doing, right? And why, right? And the key is what levels are they at, and what are the shadows saying, right? So a spinning top is still an upper shadow if it is at a key level, right here, right? That's showing resistance, right? Selling pressure, selling pressure. There's an upper, otherwise it would have been a hammer, right? Right? Selling pressure, selling pressure. So I still say whether it's a spinning top or not, whether it's a hammer or not, look at the shadows. The shadows tell you what is happening, right? It shows you where the weakness is, right? Right? And it shows you where the strength is, right? It shows you where the buying pressure is down here, lower shadows. It shows you where the selling pressure is up here, right? Very, very key. Look at that. Lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow. It shows you where the pressure is, okay? And that really is the theme of it. So the spinning top has, shadows on both sides. So it really depends where it's at, where it takes more meaning. So I think the statistics could be adjusted, right? So when you see these at key levels, right? When you see a spinning top at a key level, then you could see, be able to actually kind of determine the potential and the probability of the price action a lot better. So anyway, that is today's discussion on spinning tops. So very, very important stuff, right? It all kind of ties together. It's all about those shadows. So I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. I will get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30, so everybody get a good night's sleep and have an awesome trading day tomorrow. Let me just check my email real quick, see if Shirley sent anything in. I don't see anything from Shirley. Let me check my other DMs. I'm starting to get a lot of DMs here. Let's see, nothing here. Okay, had a few from the other day from here. Okay, good, good, cool. Maybe some will come in later. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what everybody's looking at today. So let's do this. Awesome. What's going on? Hey there. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I like your avatar. It looks very peaceful and colorful, like something on the beach. Scott, what's going on, man? Boeing. Let's take a look. So BA. Yeah. So BA. Let's take a little looky look here. Let's throw this one up here. Okay. So Boeing's very, very interesting, right? So yesterday, it gave its first real minor pivot here. Right, well, kind of minorish right here, but first minor pivot right here. So the goal was for it to close below that, but with increasing volume. And right now, less volume than here. So I passed on it. If I saw a little bit more volume coming through here, I'd love to have put in a short on this. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on it. And honestly, with futures up right here, I'm kind of glad I'm not in it, because Boeing is one of those type of ones that likes to gap up. But we will keep an eye on it and continue to watch the volume. Twilio. Twilio, looking good, looking constructive. Right, here's our downward trend line. Okay, most recent. Right, and we could actually add another one here. Okay, we have these lows we have here. All right, so that it does give us a potential target if we can form a bullish close above these levels with volume. Okay, if we could do that, then we could potentially swing this up to like 119, 120. Very, very possible there. So definitely keep an eye on Twilio. I think it's a great idea. DE, bearish engulfing. Look at that. Right to the trend line though. Okay, so it kind of came into support, right? So interesting stuff. Gapped up, came all the way down, right to support. Let's see if it holds this trend line. If not, we'll look for a minor pivot. We'll continue to observe, right? If it closes bearishly below that with increasing volume, then we will look to swing it right to the cloud. Okay? Good stuff. Bubs time! Snap held yesterday's low, just saying. Nice. Let's take a look. It did hold yesterday's low, that's right. Okay, today it did put in a minor pivot as well. All right, so we have to watch that. So bullish close, over 1650, with some volume. We'll look to try to swing it back up to 18 again. All right, maybe we'll just make money here going up to 18 every time it pulls back. So we'll see on that. Looking good. Sarah, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Alfredo, what's happening? Good to see you. Glad to see you back. Awesome, man. Hope you're doing well. MTN, what's happening? Wild. Wild the market or wild the ticker? Maybe just wild. That the day, not the night. So of course, I go on the next one. It's like I figured. No, yeah, today was definitely a wild day for sure. I knew that's what you're talking about. Really, seriously, I did. Somebody did some other stuff too. I'm like, okay, ticker, and then it was like some funny, nice stuff. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right, cyber guys. Session, what's happening? All right, cyber, let's take a look here. So no fresh lows, so this trend line is still good. Here's the problem with it, right? That was like with Costco. I was like, I wanted to see like another low push, but we had this minor pivot right here, so we have to wait till it closes above that. And the longer we wait, the closer we get to resistance. So that's kind of the annoying thing about that. PYPL. Okay, good. Another minor pivot right here, but still needs to close here unless it puts in new lows. So still kind of keeping an eye on PayPal there. Very nice. Nike. Ooh, Nike got oofed too. Look at that bearish engulfing candle on the way up here. So, it had this awesome push yesterday, right? But this market, I'm telling you, are we getting continuation? No. Every time it goes up, it's just getting slammed down. It's very, very dangerous up here. So Nike, and I think also the CEO is kind of implicated in some doping stuff with like some runners, some track people, or something like that. So it's like he knew about it, right? Anyway, so we'll see if that gets any follow through to the downside. So this is a very, very bearish day. So keep an eye on it. Maybe a breakdown tomorrow's lows could give a little scalp low or more. We'll see. Low, very nice. Let's take a look at this. I haven't seen this one in a while. Good. This has been really tricky, right? Still a little gap right here, open. Getting really, really close to it. It needs to close bearishly below here. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would do it here, right? Give us an opportunity to get this short, but it just kind of chopped its way all the way down. So it kind of was behaving like McDonald's was on the way up, which maybe by implication means this is going to go up. So we'll see. And then DE, I just took a look at that, but always happy to take another look if it makes sense. Yeah, again, still holding that upward trend line right there on DE. Good stuff. Robin, good evening. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Um, let's take a look at SPY real quick, and then we'll take a look at Diz. I don't know why, Robin. Every time I say it, I'm like, Diz. Let's do it. Let's go to Disney World. Okay, so interesting stuff on SPY right here, right? So today, actually a fresh low. So we'll see if it does a new low tomorrow. If it will, we'll shift the trend line, right, and continue that trend down. Now it's just kind of shifted right there. Okay, so we still have this minor pivot right here to get above. Okay, so that's SPY kind of heading to the cloud. Diz. Again, nice minor pivot today. We'll see if we can close above that and work our way up to these upward trend lines. But again, it still looks like it's kind of working its way to the that gap window, the window opening down there. So keep an eye on that too. Harvey, what's happening? Hope you had a good day today. Caught a little SPY short, today. That's always good. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Amara, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Paul, what's happening? Hey now. Amara, Ulta and SQ. Ulta, guys. Oh, this one here. Had this one off the radar. Okay, so two different downward trend lines. Minor pivot here, bullish close here. Guys, I don't know how this is off the list. And it closed below this with increasing volume. And look at that. Worked its way all the way up. This is at least a 10x trade on basically the 270 options. So from here, incredible stuff. This is the stuff we like to look for. But honestly, the reason I didn't trade this is because I was a little worried about this huge gap down, right? But the thing I learned about this, right, because this is something I wanted to observe, right? Normally I don't trade these because they get beat up so much, but I wanted to see how something with a little bit higher beta, right, a little bit more expensive, how it handles it, right? So Google did something very similar. And I've stopped looking at Google because it's so crazy, but it does something similar, right? So I mean, it gets beat up like this, right? But eventually, right, it works its way back up, right? As hard as it is, Google. I haven't traded, even looked at Google in a while, but it does move, right? Because there is a lot of money in this, and it's very expensive. So Ulta is very similar. Now, is Ulta to get more continuation? Hard to say. This is a very, very parabolic move. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of consolidation, but it could continue, right? There's a lot of shorts that could get squeezed out through this gap. So it is definitely worth watching. And then SQ, let's take a looky look. Yeah, so SQ yesterday we talked about that. I was like, kind of wish I got in on that gap. It just keeps on doing these upper shadows here, right? Spinning top today, right? Upper shadow, upper shadow. Could that be a reversal? It could be. There's a little pivot right there. I mean, granted, it's within the trend line, so we kind of ignore it, but it's real. It's there. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. It is holding up pretty well. But again, I do want to see how this eventually follows through because this gap here, this gap up, although it was less volume than here, it was an increased volume from the prior day, and that that's a bullish gap, right? And they defended it. So we'll see how this kind of plays out. Good stuff. Market Mike, what's happening? Okay, Nike engulfing. Yep, we just looked at that. Nvidia. Oh, I know. Yeah, let's take a look at Nvidia. False breakout for sure. Look at that. I mean, it was real if you were in it for a few seconds, right? For a few minutes today. Big push up over this key level right here. You'd think that would be gap and go, but look how much resistance it ran into. Couldn't even close this gap, that closing gap right there. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. I just want to show you what it looked like this morning. I know you saw it. I mean, it was like, yeah, this morning it's like, what? Where did Nvidia come from? Because it was chugging yesterday too. It was trading like Nvidia did back in 2017, and then today it was like, wah! Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like how stocks used to trade like for fun, right? On these tech stocks. So it was crazy. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, really? Nvidia? Really? And then nope, not really. See ya. Back down. So pretty funny stuff on that. Very interesting like that. Great job on it too, man. CAG. Take a looky look. Oh yeah, Conagra. Big gap up on earnings, failed to hold red bar, right? Next day probably gave a good 30 orb, or something to work with to the downside, and then inside day and down. Now it's back below the fib fan line right here, working its way back to the cloud. Filled a gap too. Yeah, so that is. Can I make sense of it? No. Well, I mean, does it sound like I made sense of it? I made a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit messy right now, but I mean, you got this. Right? So maybe it'll just hold that trend, but it did fill that gap. So we'll see. It has got fib fan line. This fib fan line actually is something we drew a long time ago. Can't even go back that far, but it is sort of holding, staying true to this fib fan line. Okay. Helps if you shake it a little. And then MDB. Yeah, MDB. I think it's still. Last time I looked at it, it was still downtrending. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't look horrible. Right, back to the fib line, held a little support right here. We got this downward trend line right here. Give it a day or two, see if it makes a minor pivot, and then works its way back up. Other than that, yeah, generally it's still trending down. Market Mike, hello again. Interesting week coming at us. Yeah, happy Monday to you too. MicroTrader watching, good. Thanks for tuning in. Sean M, hey, what's up? ATVI. Let's take a look. Yeah, ATVI is interesting here, guys. So key minor pivot right here. If it closes bearishly below that, you got this gap here, and cloud. So just kind of keep an eye on it here. If not, right, it could continue to work its way up, right? So in general, we have this too. Okay, so we got multiple trend lines kind of working here. So if it breaks its way out here, it could start to work its way up. If not, if it holds down there, it could start to work its way down. So we could probably remove this one right here. Okay, just kind of look at that. All right. Actually, what's happening? Tesla. Anybody here know what when they're going to announce their numbers? It's either I guess we could bet on tomorrow night. All right. Let's see what's happening here. If anything can pull up. No news on Tesla. That's rare. All right. Tesla strengthening automatic driving. Okay, they're not putting any numbers out today, but there was that leaked email from Elon Musk about the 100,000 car deliveries. So we'll see, guys. This is going to be very interesting. Tomorrow, odds are that it comes out on Thursday. If it does, we'll take a look at some straddles, just to kind of take a look at an idea right here. The 245s. The 245s this week are, wow, goodness, they're expensive. Really? $5 for Tesla? That's kind of at the money? That's ridiculous. Anyway, it's $11. All right, maybe that might not be worth it. Goodness gracious. Why is that so much? It's been working its way up. You'd think the IV would be down. Those premiums are ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So let's just take a look right here. All right, we'll just have to see how their numbers are. Go from there. But yeah, so So it is kind of working its way up right here, a little bit spiky right here. So got above the cloud, huge move right here. So just a little consolidation at this point. So the numbers are going to move it, right? When he comes out with his numbers tomorrow, it's either going to gap way up or it's going to gap down. We'll see if, see, look at that. Even if it filled that gap, that's 10 points. Those straddles aren't even worth it. Somebody must have read my newsletter. So the market makers read my newsletter and are pricing accordingly. Paul, hey, Paul. Paul, what's up? Yo, Scott. Xilinx short. Yeah. Yeah, nice drop on that. Big down move today, right? Downgrade, increased volume, just continuation of trend right there, right? The trend is down, gaps down. Um, short makes sense. Good. Bruno, shop. Nice. Some go-to list ones. Good. So shop guys is looking good, right? Well, it's looking interesting, right? With this downward trend line right here, it's starting to get there, right? Minor pivot here, holding that minor pivot level, not closing bullishly over it yet. But what did it do? Create a new minor pivot. So at this point, we need a bullish close above 320 with some volume for a shot to get back up to this 340, 345 range. Other than that, still chopping. Thomas, what's going on, man? Okta. Oh yeah, that was beautiful today. Just beautiful, right? What bad market? What down market? Okta's like, nope, I'm green. I'm up on volume. I love it. The only thing I needed was a close over a pivot. But what did it do? It created a new minor pivot for us. So if we continue to show strength here, right? If we close bullishly over this tomorrow with more volume than today, that's good volume. If we close that, look at that. Here's earnings, right? It's like just close. There's buy-in pressure right there. If that's the case, I want in if we close bullish over that tomorrow. So we'll see, right? We'll look to swing that out, maybe do something like the 125s or something like that. It could be interesting. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Benny, what's happening? Good evening. Appreciate your support. Let's do this. What about IWM and QQQ? Let's take a look. IWM, whoa, nasty. A lot of people talk about IWM kind of being like the market indicator, like the kind of leading indicator. It's pretty good, right? So it definitely is showing some good stuff. That's about it right there. So minor pivot here, kind of keep an eye on it. Possible consolidation. Got a little cloud resistance right here too, so a little bit ugly. Did fill a gap today too. Did fill an open gap too. So I don't know. Maybe the job is done. We'll see. We'll see how well these futures hold overnight. QQQ. Take a look. Yeah, kind of holding this channel-ish here. So, just look and see if we can continue to hold this. It looks really interesting. It doesn't look as bad as, the S&P or anything like that. It's down for sure, but definitely is kind of a different perspective here. The where it is at the cloud and everything. So it could be interesting. See if we can get bullish and close above, today's high. So if we could, we might see, another push up. So good. Robin. Yep, SPY and is done and done. Nice stuff. Good to see you. Wendy, what's happening? Good morning in Singapore. What's up? Hope you have an awesome day today. Let's take a look at Boeing. So when do you get to trade, Wendy? Like, do you just trade like at night a little bit, like at the open and stuff? Like trade to like midnight and stuff? Pretty neat though. It's the days that'd be so cool. The day's over, just trade till like midnight or so, and then just go to bed. Right, get a couple good trades in the morning, and see ya. Usually when the best moves happen anyway. Anyway, Boeing, cool. So Boeing, I think I mentioned this. I love this close. Only thing I don't like is just that decrease in volume from yesterday. If it really wanted to be bearish, right, it would have had more volume today. People would have been getting out. So right now, the setup is beautiful. The volume is not there for me. So in general, it's decreasing volume. It's a little bit up here, but it was down from yesterday. So I think a move like this, right, a candle like this should have some more volume on it to short that. So I'm not saying go long on it, but I'm saying just keep an eye on it. Apple. Yeah, same thing here too, right? False breakout as well, just like Nvidia. Big topping tail, guys. We talked about the shooting star yesterday. This is a classic right here, right? It is almost at a key level here, right? It should have closed bullishly above that level there. So, some folks actually swung this on the strength yesterday, some members, which is great. right? Because it got that nice continuation day, but it's for an overnight, right? So once you get a move like that and you start to approach those all-time highs and then it starts to pull back, just take profit. So it ended up being a good overnight trade on that one with this increased volume, nice green bar, right? Quick breakout bar. So little follow through there. So good stuff there. But topping tail, so watch, might come back and retest the trend line if the market's weak again. In fact, I'm going to add that on the list. I'm going to put that on the radar for tomorrow's game plan. Give me 1 second. Ah! Just lost everything. Just lost all my data. Oh, that's kidding. There it is. Okay. Okay, so Wednesday. Twilly Octa. And then Apple. Okay, good. 1 second. Let me just translate this over here. Ah! Okay, good. All right. Yeah, so nice topping. Sorry about that. So nice topping tail on Apple there. Good. And then Nvidia. So we just took a glance at that too. But again, same thing. Topping tail, right? Couldn't get above these levels. Reversal, right? Still a closing gap above though, which is interesting. But that topping tail is so nasty, right? That's just a big reversal bar right there. Nasty. Good stuff. Sai, what's happened? IRDM. IRDM. Harami Day. Right, so the real body is contained by the prior real body. So Iridium Communications 21. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Let's get a trend line on this. Steep move down. Here's your move right here. Pivots right here. So it really is to close bullishly over basically 22 and a half. If we do that right, it might start to work its way up. But yeah, definitely some volume coming in this thing. So very, very interesting. Otherwise, the trend is downish, right? So look to see if we can put another low, and then the trend shifts, and we'll continue to monitor that, right? Harvey CMG, what's happening? I know you like some CMG here. So again, we talked about this yesterday, guys. Remember, like we were talking about, we could look to buy it down here. It's like, well, looks like it could get down there. Well, why don't I just short it? Well, it was a good short today after it gapped up, right? So obviously, a little bit complex. But again, my place to go long here is the cloudish and this fib fan line. It loves this fib fan line, right? Tag up, tag up. Not quite tag up, but close. But it had lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow. Now let's see if it comes back down and tags again and see if we can kind of keep that trend up. Right, so that's important stuff there. Good. Eric, what's happening? My pleasure, man. Thank you for your support. So yeah, lots to learn, right? But the stuff is good, man. You see the stuff happening, right? I mean that UNH, right, was like, what was that? Like a 20x trade, right? On that pivot, and then Ulta. I mean, just these things, just kind of looking at these things, like, oh, okay, right? I mean, it comes together. It's awesome stuff. Mike, what's up? Call of Duty Mobile, big hit, nice. Beat Mario Kart, an app not even working right at. Cool, good. Chad Starnes, Microsoft, Starbucks. Yeah. What's up, Chad? MSFT. Let's take a look. Yeah. So Microsoft, guys, has been like, why do I not have? Goodness gracious. There. All right. There's the channel that it's been working on here for a while. Okay. So it's just been really choppy, guys, in this range. I mean, if you can kind of just put a box around this, I mean, I just almost want to put like a circle on it. I mean, this whole area has just been just blah, right? With Microsoft, it's harder. It hasn't really been taken any direction, right, in a while. It's been up forever, and then it gets up here, and it's just like, so it's kind of in this weird kind of consolidation mode right now. So again, make sure it holds this cloud, otherwise it holds this channel, right? And then just kind of see how it does. But right now, there's nothing clear with like trend lines or anything like that, which makes it really, really, really difficult, right? Yep. Again, watch out if it breaks down to this channel too. If this was like a wave, it'd be a complex wave 3, right? But if it's working on a wave 3, right, and it breaks down here, it could drop. So just be careful with Microsoft. But I imagine they hold it up. Starbucks is breaking down, guys. On how? Buy the drip. Come on. It'll get there, right? But it is still holding trend, right? So let's just kind of stretch this trend line out a little bit here. Okay. So it's continuing to work its way down. Had a big earnings right here. Somewhere here they said they gave some bad guidance on it, forward guidance, right? So it chopped around for a while, and it's just been kind of working its way down. So, as it came back and it hits this trend line, right, it likes to come down off of it. So just be careful. There's an open gap down here, just below, right? I think there's another one right down here. So definitely keep an eye out. It did have an epic run. It's so beautiful when you look at these charts like this. It's had this epic run up, right? That's probably your wave 5 finish right there. At least some form of wave 5, right? So now it's kind of zigzagging. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe a little bit more down for a zigzag Paul, right? So that could be your A, B, maybe up to the cloud, and then another zigzag down C, right? And that could come back down to these levels. So again, I want to be bullish on Starbucks, and I will trade. Technically, we're supposed to just only have to try to trade wave C's and 3s and 5s, right? But I'll trade a B up on a trend line break here to try to tag that cloud again for sure. So, but in the meantime, the trend is down. Okay. Taik, how's it going? Let's take a look at W. Oh wow. Great one on this. Fresh low. We can switch to the trend line here. Okay, and it's got this going on right here, which is great. This could give us some action here. So you have this down right here, here. Okay, so we could see a little, we could watch, keep an eye on this. Let me make sure I add this to the Lotto watch list here too for us. There, W. Okay, so W is on the radar now. But it is, let's see if it chops around in here, gives a minor pivot, little swing up to the cloud. Let's see how close he gets to this trend line. If we see a breakdown from that trend line, it could be huge. Now, I don't know if he's going to do it before earnings. That's a lot of time. But golly, I love when things are downtrending and it comes all the way up to the trend line, and then you get another short entry out. I mean, just like, oh, beautiful trade. Good stuff. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Curtis, what's happening? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Edwin, what's going on? Good to see you. Netflix again. Okay, yeah, let's take another look. Again. All right, guys, so Netflix is trending down. It's been trending down since before earnings, okay? Right? Started the downtrend, and then earnings. Right? Gap down here. Okay? Try to work its way up. This was, a quick epic, three white soldier, kind of move right here. Quick squeeze on Netflix, and that was the last decent move Netflix has had since July. Okay, then it kind of worked its way back down, right? Nice down moves, giving some nice trades intraday. Nice trades intraday, still giving good ranges and good moves day trading wise. It came back to the trend line here, right? And then flushed again. Nasty, right? And now what's it doing? It's slowly working its way up, but it's even today it had a little bit more volume, but that upper shot, spinning top right here. Tough to go long off of that, right? And even if you did, the risk reward to me just isn't there. But you get to the trend, see how it handles this trend line right here. Now the premiums are going to continue to go up as we get closer to earnings, so we'll see how it handles this earnings. It's going to need to impress hard, right? Dark Crystal, right? Mike is going to have to be super big revenue maker or something like that, which is probably not going to be. So Netflix Q, as far as I can say. But I don't know. We'll see how it handles this cloud. Very, very bearish right now. Okay, but it's trading well intraday. Day trading wise, it gave like great reversal today. Let's see here, right? Nice trend. Here you can use these trend lines at any time frame. They're fractal. Minor pivot, close above it. See ya. Right? Beautiful move today. Another minor pivot right here. Right? Close above it bullishly with some volume. See ya. Right? Very, very strong. Very, very fun to trade intraday. Day trading, swing trading, complex. Difficult to see what's happening here, but we'll follow them. Right now, the trend is down. Okay, and so a day like today is actually kind of complex on Netflix too, because we had this really, really bearish day in the market, right? And then Netflix is like, woo, let's just run up there. So yeah, but in general, bearish until proven otherwise. Good. Curtis is going beyond. Let's take a look. Yeah, absolutely. Beyond Meat is beyond choppy right now. We looked at this, a nice little swing right here up to the cloud, then kind of a reversal off of that back down. You'd think right here that it would lose it. Just kind of, once it broke below these levels, that would just lose it. Buyers came back in and gapped it up, right? And then they had that McDonald's news and all that. Now it's kind of working its way back down again. So at this point, Unfortunately, it's going to be tough to catch. We need to watch for a bearish close below, a couple of these levels, and then maybe one day soon it'll fill that gap. But we'll see. It seems to be like getting sneaky every time it looks like it's going to break down. Some new news comes out to be like, oh, this really important place is using, Beyond Meat now for their food, right? So very interesting. Just looks like this nasty Head and Shoulders though. Okay, cool, good. Wendy, midnight, cool. No, that's fun. Yeah, and then you get to, you're done with your day, right? Take a little nap, right? Go from like 9 to midnight, go back to bed. It's fun. That's why the mornings are the opens are so good. And Amex, what's going on? SQ, yep, we'll take another look at that. So SQ, same thing, right? Spinning top right here, right? Nice gap up here. That was kind of a signal with some volume. I think maybe I ignored it because it was still less than this volume here, but that was a good reversal volume here on that bottom shadow, right? The reason for the volume is it held, right, and then it gapped. So I mean, it is looking, even with today's bearish, spinning top. What I want to see, you can see I have an alert right here. I just want to see like this gap fill, like on a quick bar, a little bottom shadow, and if that happens, I want in, and then we'll look to swing it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on that. So good stuff. Jay, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, man. John Juan, what's happening? AMTD. Oh, I know. Should be up after. I mean, it's just a horrible day today, right? Again, probably a good place to buy the dip on this one, right? Because what is it? It's down on Schwab putting out free commissions. Okay, so say you buy the low here the day. What does it do after hours? Right? Well, it should be gapping up. They lowered commissions on all their stuff, but I thought it was going to be up a little bit more. But let's see if they buy the dip on this one. I think it's possible. I mean, it's what they say. They're only losing $200 million in their revenue. But it's good for us, right? At least we'll be able to, anybody who's thinkorswim, they're lowering their commissions to 0 on stock and only 65 cents on options. Look at that volume. Incredible. It's the biggest volume it's ever had. So definitely worth keeping an eye on here. So look for 15 order potential trade or something like that tomorrow. In fact, let me add that to that right there. I'll put AMTD on there. Okay, good. Very good. Edwin, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, well, we just have to kind of look for the setups, right? But right now, that topping tail is very bearish. Amara, what's up? Would you say there is a gap to be filled on SPY? The gap created on 9.3 to 9.4 on the daily. Let's take a look. Here. Okay, let's see. 9.3 and 9.4. Where are we? Here. There you go. 9.3 to 9.4. Is there a gap to be filled? I would say there is. There is an open gap right here. So very possible. Okay. If it comes down, test the cloud. You got a gap right here. You also have an open gap right here. Okay. From the 828, right, to the closing is 9.3. So 9.3 even back to 828 has another open gap. And I believe there's an open gap down here too. Wait, I can't really tell because of my thing. No, not quite an open gap. How about here? Yep, there's an open gap down here as well. Plenty of gaps below. Plenty of gaps below. Experience and thoughts, what's happening? Experience and thoughts, starting Thursday, no commission fees on options from TD, only 65 cents per contract. Gotta love it. Shop and Apple, please. Absolutely. So take a look at Shop. We'll take another look. So Shop, again, nice down move here. I'm showing a zigzag type move down here, Elliott Wave. I'd like to see a bullish close over this. Right, this could be your A, maybe a little bit of pullback B. Then maybe hopefully a close there. We can at least catch a piece of a wave C up, right? And then I would expect to see another zigzag down, another sharp move down. And then Apple. Let's take a look. Topping tail. I mean, right? Try to get its way all the way back up to these all-time highs and just reject lots of selling pressure today on Apple. So, I guess it held up okay, right? Big volume today, but big topping tail. So, shooting star. Very good. Just be careful with that. And then Amazon. Again, it's holding up, right? It hasn't reached the full danger zone, right? Spinning top right here. It needs to close bullishly above that over the next couple of days. Then we'll look to see if we can get up to that trend line. Scott Huff, W Day. Yep, still holding trend. So a little bit of spinning top right here, kind of upper shadow here at this downward trend line. So see how that holds. Yeah, that's right. Paul zigzag WXY. Excellent. Amar, surprised nobody said Roku yet. Nothing much happened today, but maybe soon. Exactly. So Roku, looking good, guys. I love this consolidation. It's exactly what I want to see. Okay, exactly what I want to see. Here's the trend line: high to low to there. So we were getting really, really close to this. So give it, 1, 2, 3 more days. Minor pivot, bullish close over that with some volume. Swing it back up to the cloud. Very, very nice. Curtis, sorry, 1, 2, 3. Oh, got it. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, all good. Sai, what's up? Vive, former trade of the week idea, which did get a nice pop right there. It held up nicely as well. Okay, so looking good. Okay, here's your high there. Tried to break down out of that trend line, but couldn't do it. Right now, it's trying to get back above it. So let's see if this is a retest. Okay, and if we can get back above. If not, watch out below. Very good, Paul. Saw that experience making a transition TOS for sure. Nice. Oh yeah, for sure. 65 cents. Come on. And it trades well. I mean, TOS is just fun to trade with too. It's like you can see, like you can move your stops, with your mouse and all that. It's really, really cool stuff. So good. Edwin, still short Netflix. Cool. Yeah, the nasty little move back, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it could just be a daily thing. Curtis, short at 146. Nice. John 1, nice. Yep. My pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. Edwin, wow, commission lower than interactive. I know. Yeah, well, it depends where you are. Right? If you're in Canada, they didn't lower the prices in Canada. So just FYI. MicroTrader introduces. That's right. IB did free trade on like their light edition or something like that. I know it's great. Go to zero commission. I guess they're all making deals with high frequency traders, just like Robinhood did. I mean, I guess they're just seeing more money in that. So Edwin, too bad from India can't create an account. I know, man. It stinks that they can't do it from all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah. Um, I know. Let me see the news. Live chat. Good. Good stuff, guys. All right. Let me just check. Make sure Shirley didn't email anything. She did not. Okay. Let me just check my other DM. Make sure Gia didn't send me one. There. Nope. Good. All right, guys. Well, great chart request. Amar, you're in Canada. I know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So it is sad. But good stuff, guys. Well, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Great chart request tonight. Awesome discussion on spinning tops. Tomorrow we're probably going to talk about dojis or something like that. Some other crucial candles that are really good. And I know, right? You'd think that their TD is Toronto Dominion, right? So you'd think they would do that. It's crazy. Um, yeah, yeah, Thomas, that is a very possibility. So good. Nice stuff, guys. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We do this every market night. Also, be sure to check out the description, the YouTube description. Right, we've got lots of great links in there too. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.